Hello, everyone. I think my mic's working. Yeah. All right. My name's Dominic Williams. I'm founder and chief scientist of the Dfinity Foundation. Dfinity is the primary contributor of the technology that runs the Internet Computer Network. And today, we're going to talk about AI that runs on the blockchain as a smart contract. And this really is something completely new. In crypto, we're hearing a lot about blockchains for AI, tokens for AI, that kind of thing. And people getting onto AI panels and making contact with Jensen Huang and things like that. But what we're going to talk about today is the merger of blockchain and AI that runs on the blockchain as a smart contract. So for those of you who've not come across the Dfinity Foundation before, we probably run blockchain's largest R&D operation since about early 2018. We're sort of blockchain maximalists, and we believe in driving a blockchain singularity, which loosely to say is that we believe that blockchain is the world's future compute platform, and that third generation blockchain reinvents compute and will one day be the IT platform of choice. So it'll replace things like cloud services, and people will build their internet services and enterprise systems and things like that as actually fully on the blockchain alongside things like DeFi. And so we employ a lot of people, a lot of world-famous cryptographers, computer science researchers, engineers, and so on. And when you look at the internet computer today, and you're really looking at a network that's the product of more than 1,000 years of R&D. So it's a very substantial thing. And the revolution that we're pursuing is that compute is now on blockchain. So I don't know how technical everyone here is, but there are really three lanes of blockchain, right? The first one was just blockchains that host a cryptocurrency ledger like Bitcoin. The second one was traditional blockchains that host smart contracts, and that was really led by Ethereum, but there are lots of competitors like Solana and so on. And this new lane, this third lane, is blockchain that acts as a new kind of compute platform that can, for example, host a social network, that kind of thing. And of course, we're going to be talking about hosting AI on the blockchain. So if you go to dashboard.internetcomputer.org today, you'll see that it's running north of 300,000 Ethereum equivalent transactions a second when you're actually looking at the number of low-level virtual machine instructions being executed by smart contract invocation. And the reason it's running so many Ethereum equivalent transactions is now you've got things like social networks running on the blockchain, and a chat message actually is executed as a transaction. And this really, I think, probably gives you a hint of the potential of third generation blockchain. We hope that we'll get beyond 1 billion Ethereum equivalent transactions a second by the end of the year, and get up into the trillions and quadrillions and so on pretty quick. And AI will be one of the key ways that that's achieved. So again, this on third generation blockchain, full stack decentralization is happening today. So people are building social networks from smart contracts. Things like order book dexes, order book exchanges, something like NASDAQ or Coinbase. You can now build that with smart contracts. And here we're going to be talking about AI dApps, AI that's running actually on the blockchain for the first time ever. For those that are more technical, smart contracts on the internet computer are kind of very different things. If you're looking at a traditional blockchain that primarily does DeFi, like Solana, you can't even store a phone photograph on the blockchain. You cannot store a phone photograph, which is about 3 meg. It's not possible. But when you're dealing with AI, you need to, for example, host large numbers of weights, neuron weights in memory. So anyway, Internet Computer Smart Contract currently can store about 400 gig of data in something called stable memory, and has about 4 gig of something called main memory. It runs WebAssembly, which is the sort of new standard for open computer on the internet. It supports reverse gas, so Internet Computer Smart Contracts pay for computation themselves, so the user doesn't have to configure transactions. You can just interact with the smart contract. They run in parallel. They can process computations over multiple blocks. So, for example, if you do an AI inference, that can span multiple blocks, which greatly increases the amount of compute that can be done. Internet Computer Smart Contracts process HTTP, which means they can serve user experiences, interactive user experiences, directly into the web browser, and you can close the loop and get full stack decentralization. They're fast and low cost. I mean, we're talking about tens of thousands of times more efficient than smart contracts on traditional blockchains. There's something called Chain Fusion. They're multi-chain. Internet computers already being used as a Bitcoin layer 2. You can interact with Web 2. You can put all of this kind of stuff under the full control of DAOs. So DAOs actually become responsible for updating the code of smart contracts that create something like a social network or an AI. And of course, what we're going to talk about today is these smart contracts are AI capable. So if you go to my Twitter profile and you scroll down a bit, you'll see I recently demonstrated a fully decentralized AI running on the internet computer. I demonstrated a neural network that does image classification running as a smart contract. And things are moving fast. I think in the demo you'll see internet computer was taking about 10 seconds to do an inference to analyze the image. Optimization's already bringing that down. We think it'll be 1 or 2 seconds within a few weeks. It'll run in parallel, and it's going to go from there. It's going to continue getting better. And we're aiming to go all the way to a large language model. So we believe that AI will be the beating heart of Web3. So I invite you to dream a bit with me and imagine what AI smart contracts can do through examples. So the first one is Ethereum safety. So Ethereum is the pioneering traditional blockchain that hosts smart contracts, and is really the premier destination for DeFi today. So if you go to something like Etherscan, you can examine a smart contract hosted on Ethereum, and you can look at the Solidity code that made the EVM bytecode. What's happening is the code hash is being matched to Solidity on GitHub, and so the problem is, how do you know if you should trust the smart contract you're looking at? And it's a tough problem. Is it vulnerable to reentrancy? Are there backdoors that make it vulnerable to a rug pull? Is the malicious code that might make it interact with other smart contracts in a way that you don't want? And look, most people, how many people here understand Solidity code? I mean, some, right, but not that many. And even people who can read Solidity code probably don't have the time to audit other people's smart contracts. So there's definitely a problem there. And one of the ways this can be solved is using an AI smart contract, and you'd have to build this one with a large language model, using a large language model. So probably a couple of months away from that. But you can have this AI smart contract on the internet computer, enumerate smart contracts on Ethereum, pull the code for the code hash, and verify that there are no reentrancy vulnerabilities, there are no backdoors detected, and there's no malware inside. And once this autonomous smart contract that's running the AI that can analyze the Ethereum smart contract code has detected there are no problems, it can issue a kind of certification, if you like, a cryptographic certification that something like Etherscan can display. So Etherscan can now say, certified by AI audit, and that can give people wanting to use a smart contract an added level of assurance. So that's a great example of how AI smart contracts can improve the security of the DeFi ecosystem. Anonymous KYC. So this actually follows on a bit from the panel I was just on, where we talked a little bit about security tokens. Security tokens are actually going to be huge. So for example, tokenized stock, tokenized gold, tokenized debt, that kind of thing. And DEXs are going to want to make security tokens available for trading. In the future, degens aren't going to just be trading, traditional crypto assets. They're going to be wanting to trade security tokens. And many of the advantages that DEXs provide for trading, traditional crypto assets, will also still apply for security tokens, right? DEXs are transparent. They're driven by smart contracts, and the code can't be changed. There's no backdoors, or at least if they're properly designed, there are no backdoors. The challenge is that securities is a very highly regulated field, and DEX is really going to have to do some kind of KYC, know your customer verification on users that want to trade security tokens. So you've got a degen. He wants to trade security tokens on a DEX, but how on earth can the DEX do KYC? Because it's a decentralized exchange, right? It's just autonomous smart contracts. How can an autonomous smart contract interact with a company that's doing KYC in a centralized way? It's a tough challenge. Well, guess what? AI smart contracts can help solve that problem. So in fact, the neural network running as a smart contract that I demonstrated 2 or 3 weeks ago now, that's already been retrained to do facial recognition. So you can connect something like a webcam video feed to an AI smart contract that does KYC. And the smart contract can say to the user, hey, look left, look right, put up 4 fingers, right, to prove you're real, and then match the person that they're looking at to some identity document such as a driving license or passport, that's been provided by the user. And if the AI can verify that the person online on the other, who's looking into the webcam is the same person that's in the ID, then the AI smart contract can again issue some kind of credential. Here it'd be like a Web3C, W3C credential that might be added to an authentication system like internet identity that would allow the user access to the DEX where they can trade security in a way that allows them to trade security tokens. All right, last kind of example, organizational intelligence. So here we imagine an AI that helps coordinate a startup, a corporation, a government or a government department, something like that. And the idea is that this, it's a large language model, and it's being connected to the organization's sources, primary sources of information, dynamic information, Slack, email, calendar, if it's a technical organization, Jira, GitHub, that kind of thing. And the AI is ingesting all this information, putting it into its context, and people are also interacting with the AI and saying, hey, my team is blocked by this. I've got a great idea for how we can improve the product, that kind of thing. And this would enable people to ask questions of the AI like, hey, is my CTO free for a meeting this afternoon? Who's running that team? Are they blocked by anything? Has anyone got any good ideas for PR? And so on. So in the future, these kinds of AI will become essential to organizations and will sort of dramatically improve information sharing and efficiency and things like that. But we need to start asking questions like, what if the AI gets hacked, right? Because if somebody's running a large language model like that on traditional IT, well, we all know that traditional IT isn't secure. That's why hacks occur all the time. And if a hacker gets onto that infrastructure running the model, then they're going to have access to all of the organization's most sensitive and confidential information. So security is a very serious issue. Another question is, what happens if this stops? 20 years ago, if you were going to go somewhere across the city or in the countryside, you'd open up a map. In London, I think it was called the A to Z or something like that. I remember it was like a big fat book. And typically, I remember like memorizing the route across London. I haven't lived in London for like almost 15 years, but back in the day, I'd memorized the route. And now, if you took away my phone and asked me to do the same thing, I probably couldn't do it. We've all come to rely on sat-nav, and we've lost those skills that enable us to look at a map and memorize our route and find our way across a city. And similar things are going to happen with AI. We're going to learn to depend on AI and use our brain power in different ways. And therefore, you have to ask the question, like, what happens if one of these AIs stop? What's going to happen to the organizations that depend on them? And we all know that traditional IT is not very resilient and things can go wrong. So the answer, of course, is to run these kinds of AIs as smart contracts. Smart contracts are tamper-proof, right? That means they're guaranteed to always run the correct code against the correct data. They can't be infected with malware. You don't even need to protect smart contracts with things like firewalls. They don't need cybersecurity. There's no firewall surrounding Bitcoin, right? Nobody can steal your Bitcoin. There's no anti-malware on Ethereum, albeit plenty of people put bugs into their code. AI smart contracts have these incredible advantages. They're tamper-proof. There's no backdoor. You can't hack into the blockchain infrastructure. They're unstoppable. So, they're secure, they're highly resilient. And if you need, they can be autonomous. So, for example, you can put a smart contract that certifies Ethereum smart contracts under the control of a DAO. So you don't have to worry about if there's an intermediary or a hidden human that's really driving the certification. And AI, the smart contracts are intelligence that's fully decentralized, and today that's only possible on the Internet Computer. So I invite you to join us. Internet Computer Project benefits from something called ICP hubs that are popping up all over the world. I'm sure there's a local one here in France. And if you need to get in touch with Dfinity, you're interested in the project, please use these details. The QR code will take you to our website. Thanks very much. Thank you.